You think you're broke because the economy's bad. You think you're stuck because your boss doesn't appreciate you, or maybe you think you just haven't found the right crypto coin yet. But what if I told you that your bank account isn't empty because of math? It's empty because of chemistry. Right now, inside your skull, there is a war going on. It's a war for a single molecule, dopamine. We call it the pleasure molecule, but that's a lie. Dopamine isn't about pleasure. Dopamine is about craving. It's about desire. It's the biological engine that screams, I want more. In the wild, this molecule kept us alive. It forced us to hunt, to gather, to build. But in 2026, this molecule has been hijacked. You see, the modern world, the corporations, the apps, the advertisers, they have hacked your operating system. They know that if they can control your dopamine, they can control your wallet. Every time you scroll, every time you binge watch, every time you eat sugar, every time you click buy now, you are trading your future wealth for a cheap chemical spike. We call this the poverty loop. And the scary part, you don't even know you're in it. You think you're making choices, but you're just reacting to stimuli like a lab rat pressing a lever. In this video, we are going to expose the 7 dopamine habits that are keeping you biologically programmed to be poor. We're going to look at the neuroscience of poverty. And by the end of this video, we won't just diagnose the sickness, we will give you the antidote. Welcome to the Sovereign Protocol. Let's dismantle the trap. Imagine your motivation is a fuel tank. When your dopamine is stable, you have the energy to do hard things. You can work on your side business, you can study investments, you can go to the gym, but modern habits act like nitroglycerin. They create a massive spike of dopamine. You feel great for 10 minutes while scrolling TikTok or eating that burger. But here's the rule of neuroscience. What goes up must come down. After spike, you don't go back to normal. You crash below baseline. This is the state of dopamine deficit. In this state, you lack the chemical ability to pursue long-term goals. Everything feels hard. Everything feels boring. The only thing your brain wants, is another cheap hit to stop the pain. This is why you can't save money. This is why you can't finish that course. You aren't lazy. You are just chemically depleted. Let's look at the 7 ways you're doing this to yourself every single day. Habit number 1, the morning reactivity loop. Be honest with me, what is the very first thing you do when you open your eyes? Before you kiss your partner, before you drink water, before you even stretch, you reach for the phone, you check the notifications, you check the news, you check Instagram. Here's what happens biologically. You are blasting your brain with cortisol and cheap dopamine before your feet even touch the floor. You are training your brain to be reactive, not proactive. When you start the day reacting to other people's lives, other people's agendas, and other people's emergencies, you surrender your authority. Wealth requires output. It requires creation, but scrolling is input. It is passive consumption. If you spend the first 30 minutes of your day consuming, you have already lost the battle. You have depleted your decision-making battery on nonsense. By the time you get to work or try to work on your business, your prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain, is already tired. Rich people protect their mornings like a fortress. Poor people sell their mornings to Mark Zuckerberg. Habit number 2, we call this the high-glycemic trap. You might think, Josh, what does my diet have to do with my bank account? Everything. Your brain consumes 20% of your body's energy. When you eat high sugar, highly processed foods, you create a massive spike in blood glucose, followed by an insulin crash. This crash creates brain fog, and brain fog is expensive. When you have brain fog, you lose impulse control. Have you ever noticed that you are more likely to buy stupid things or skip your workout or procrastinate right after a heavy processed lunch? That's not a coincidence. When your energy crashes, your brain shifts into survival mode. It seeks comfort, it seeks safety, it avoids risk, and creating wealth requires risk. It requires high-level cognitive function. If you are feeding your body garbage, you are building a garbage brain. And a garbage brain cannot spot opportunities. It can only spot the next nap. You are literally eating your potential. Habit number 3, the online shopping hunt. This is a tricky one. Humans are evolved to hunt. We love the pursuit. In the past, we hunted animals. Today, we hunt deals on Amazon. Here's the neuroscience secret. Dopamine is released during the anticipation of the reward, not the reward itself. That feeling you get when you click buy now, that rush, that is the peak. The moment the package arrives, the feeling is gone. You feel empty again. So what do? You start looking for the next thing. This is the consumer trap. You aren't buying products because you need them. You are buying them because the act of buying is the only time you feel in control. It's a false sense of achievement. Look at me, I can afford this. But real wealth is boring. Real wealth is seeing a number grow on a screen in an investment account. That doesn't give you a dopamine hit. Buying a new watch does. The poor choose the hit, the rich choose the boredom. Let's combine habit 4 and 5 because they are the silent killers of men today. Pornography and video games. I know this is uncomfortable, but we need to talk about it. These are super stimuli. They provide a level of reward that does not exist in nature. In a video game, you kill the dragon, you save the princess, and you level up. You get a massive dopamine release. You feel like a conqueror. But then you turn off the console, and you are still broke. You are still in the same apartment. Your brain cannot tell the difference between virtual victory and real victory. If you get your feeling of achievement from a screen, you will have zero drive to go out and achieve things in the real world. Why would you work 10 hours to build a business, which is hard and painful, when you can feel like a god in Call of Duty in 10 minutes? Cheap dopamine castrates your ambition. It pacifies you, it keeps you docile, and docile men do not become sovereign. Habit number 6, notification slavery. Wealth is the byproduct of deep work. Deep work is the ability to focus on a hard problem for 4 hours without interruption. That is where value is created. That is where code is written, where books are written, where strategies are built. But your brain has been trained to fear boredom. Every ding, every vibration, every red dot, it pulls you out of deep work. It takes 23 minutes to get back into a state of flow after an interruption. If you check your phone every 10 minutes, you are mathematically incapable of doing deep work. You're operating at a shallow level, and shallow work gets paid shallow wages. If you cannot sit in a room alone for 1 hour without touching your phone, you are not free. You are a digital slave, and slaves do not get rich. Finally, habit number 7. This one is subtle. The victim validation. Did you know that complaining releases dopamine? When you get together with your friends and complain about the economy or the government or your boss, it feels good. It validates your pain. It creates a bond. Us against them. But this is a toxic habit. It rewires your brain to look for problems, not solutions. It convinces you that you are powerless, and if you believe you are powerless, you won't even try to change your situation. Complaining is the most expensive hobby in the world. It costs you your mindset. Rich people don't complain. They adapt. They pivot. They exploit the system. Poor people bond over how unfair the system is. So, now you know the enemy. The enemy is not the bank. The enemy is your own biochemistry. You have fried your dopamine receptors, and now you are paying the price. But there is good news. Neuroplasticity, your brain can heal. You can reset the baseline. How do we fix this? We need to perform a factory reset on your brain. We need to stop the cheap spikes and embrace the slow burn. This is called a dopamine detox. I'm not telling you to throw away your phone and live in a cave. I'm telling you to regain your sovereignty. Next week on this channel, I am going to release a complete step-by-step protocol, the 7-day dopamine detox for your wallet. We are going to save $1,000 in 1 week simply by fixing your brain chemistry. But for today, I want you to do one thing. Just one. Turn off your notifications, all of them. Reclaim your attention. Take back the control of your own mind, because once you control your dopamine, the money is easy. The hardest part is fighting the biology. If you recognize yourself in these habits, don't feel guilty. Feel angry. Feel angry that they tricked you and use that anger to break out. This is the sovereign protocol. We don't ask for permission. We build our exit. See you in the next video.